If we can start with the Ukraine, the so-called referenda taking place in Russian-occupied areas there, is the administration considering any additional costs to be imposed on Russia or those who are involved in organizing those referenda, new sanctions or other sorts of responses?
So a couple of things I do want to lean into as the votes are happening today, clearly over the next 5 days. We are prepared to impose additional swift and severe economic costs on Russia along with our allies and partners in response to these actions if they move forward with annexation. As we said in today's G7 leader statement, the United States will never recognize this territory or as anything other than part of Ukraine because it belongs to the people of Ukraine. We stand with our partners around the world in rejecting whatever fabricated outcomes Russia announces. As the president spoke about at the UN, as you heard from him very clearly, very boldly, these referendums are a flagrant violations of international law and an affront to the principles of sovereignty and territorial integrity that underpin the international system and are the foundation of the United Nations Charter. We will continue to stand firmly with the people of Ukraine and continue to provide them with historic amounts of security assistance to help them defend their territory, to help them defend their freedom.
And then on a different topic there as well, there have been these dramatic scenes of Russian fighting age males who are subject to those conscription orders leaving the country. Would the president support providing political asylum to Russians who are fleeing their country to avoid serving in their armed forces?
So I don't have anything to preview for you as it relates to your question, Zeke, about what we would offer. But you know, we'll say this: what we're seeing in Russia, especially with the protests, and what we're seeing with Russians leaving their country, is that this is an unpopular war. We have to remember this is an unpopular war that was started by the Kremlin, a brutal war that was started by the Kremlin, an unprovoked war against Ukraine. That is why you have heard from this president. He's been very clear, especially during his UN, most recently during his UN address, that we will continue with our allies and partners to offer the assistance that Ukraine needs to fight against the aggression of Russia. So again, what you're seeing is not what Russia is doing, what Putin is doing. He's not coming from a place of strength. He is coming from a place of weakness. And now the Russian people are being very loud and clear. This is, again, an unpopular war.